So the next match on court, and what a match it should be. The former champion Peter Gade and the number 4 seed this year up against the number 7 seed, the former world and Olympic champion Taufik Hidayat of Indonesia. Unbelievably, this is a repeat of the final from 10 years ago. 1999 they met each other in the final when the Indonesian was just a 17-year-old. Goodness me, if he had known then what he was going to go on and achieve in world terms. He, of course, was the Olympic champion in Athens in 2004, world champion in 2005. One of the great characters of the sport, and of course for Peter Gade, well, he became world number 1 way back in 1997 when he was a 21-year-old, and at that stage you of course were the reigning Olympic champion and you played in the same team as him, so you know an awful lot about the man from Denmark. Peter Gade, 32 years of age now, born in Aalborg, 1.84 m, that's about 6.5 inches. Winner, as I say, back in 1999, 10 years ago, but he was runner-up 5 years ago, beaten in the final in 2004 against Lindan, 4 times European champion. Well, you're only European champion 3 times, wasn't it? Yes. Incredible record of Gade over the years. 3 times he's been world championship medalist. A silver back in 2001 when the event was staged in Seville. 2 bronze medals in 99 and 2005. 99 was played on home soil in Copenhagen. In 2005 in Anaheim, California. 4th at the Olympic Games in Sydney in 2000. Lost the bronze medal playoff match to Zhuangzi of China. And I think being 4th in the Olympic Games is probably the worst possible place to finish. Officially I came 5th, that's okay, you're a way bit off it, but 4th, 1 place away from a medal, must be heartbreaking. Anyway, as far as Taufik Hidayat is concerned, 27 years of age, born in Bandung, 1.75 m, that's 5'9", never won the All England. And he's desperate to do so. Twice he's been runner-up. Obviously that final against Peter Gade, and then again the following year. So he's been in the final when 17 years of age and 18 years of age. What an incredible record. I mean, he seems to have been around for so long, and just 27 years old. World Championship gold medalist in Anaheim. Only 19 career titles, only, I say. Crikey, that's pretty impressive. But actually, when you look at the Grand Prix titles, he's only ever won 5 Grand Prix titles when you take away the Indonesian Open, which he's won 6 times. So, of course, in total, he's won 11 Grand Prix titles. But take away his home tournament, and he's only won 5 Grand Prix titles. And that's a surprising statistic of a player that has achieved so much in world terms. Really is astonishing. I couldn't believe my research when I did that, but I tell you, it's true. So, just checking on how these 2 players reached the quarterfinal. Peter Gade, first round victory over Simon Santosa of Indonesian, 21-14, 21-13, and then yesterday beat Ing Wei from Hong Kong, again in 2 straight games. Taufik Hidayat, well, he's had a much, much harder path through to today's quarterfinal. First round against Xie Yu Sing of Chinese Taipei, 3 games there, and then against England's Andrew Smith yesterday, again 3 games. So really, really tough 2 matches so far here at the Yonex All England Badminton Championships. So, as far as the Indonesian is concerned, this is the title that has eluded him. So desperately wants to win the All England, the Wimbledon of badminton. It is very much regarded the premier event, annual event in world badminton. And whilst he's been world champion and Olympic champion, this title he so desperately wants to win. But my goodness, when you look at his first 2 round matches, taken the full distance against Xie Yuxing of Chinese Taipei and then against Andrew Smith of England, he's been on court for 1 minute shy of 2 hours in those 2 matches. Where you compare that to Peter Gade, both of his first round matches, his first round and second round, 2 straight games, and a total of 1 hour and 12 minutes for his 2 matches. Is that going to be significant?
I think that could make a point here, also because I consider Taufik maybe not as one of the fittest persons in the men's singles, so he must struggle. He must feel the tension of such a hard work he has been doing for the first 2 matches. And Gade in good shape, and actually he is saying that I'm ready. I'm in my best form for a long time, so I want to win this title this time.
Yes, when you look at his recent tournament results, of course, he was beaten finalist in the Super Series finals in December at the end of last year. An event played in Kota Kinabalu in Malaysia. And then he's won the last Grand Prix, the last Super Series event, the Korean Open, prior to this All England Championship. So as you say, he's in great form, he really is. And at the age of 32,
they know each other really well, so it can be a tactical game, this one, where nobody really wants to open up to begin with, and they just want to see each other out, and there will be trying on smashes, there will be trying on forcing towards the net, making cross shots, really trying to open the game. That is what we are going to see in the start, and then it can culminate, and I hope really we will see that tremendous game that both of them can show.
Yes, well, Peter Gade known for those angled shots. A very physical player, and that he likes to leap in the air.
So far, I can see that Gade is trying to be offensive, try to get in control with the game, forcing the speed up in the game, and that is maybe a good tactical movement right now.
Just had a glimpse of the Danish coaching staff at the back of the court, Lars Uar and former All England champion Morten Frost, who of course was in the All England final 8 consecutive years, won 4 of them. Morten on the left as we look at
them. Service over, 3-2.
Oh, it's landed in, but that's a long, grueling rally, and perhaps that almost 2 hours for the first 2 matches. Rallies like that will probably play into Gade's hands. Drop wide. This, of course, is the 12th meeting between these two players, the previous 11. Peter Gade holds the narrowest of possible advantages, having won 6 of those 11. And in fact, won the last time that these two players met, which was at the French Open in November last year. And of course, Peter Gade won the French Open, he won the Danish Open, 2 Super Series events back to back. So the point we were making earlier about the fact that at the age of 32 he's in tremendous form, it really does hold true. I seem to remember that you were 32 years old when you won the Olympic Games, is that not right? Or 31?
I was actually going to be 30. I was, it was...
I do beg your pardon.
You know, it doesn't matter, it's okay. No, I was actually 30 at that time, so being 30 years old, 31, 32, you are still in a position where your physical standard is quite high, and I really believe that if you do a good workout, if you do a good training session, you can actually carry on until you are 32, 33 years old on such a high level, and being in contention to win the tournaments. So I remember actually in 99, that means that I must have been 34, something like that. I won the Danish Open, beating as well Taufik. So at the age of 34, if you do well, you can actually hold a very high standard.
6-5.
I seem to remember you playing Taufik in the semi-final of the 99 All England as well. I think the Indonesian obviously won because he lost to Peter Gade in the final. So just talk us through, obviously you have played both of these players. If you were playing Taufik right now while you're at your prime, what tactics would you use against him?
There's one thing that I always knew against Taufik. Every time you were in a good position at the net, he will actually try to make a net drop back to you more often than he would try to flick it. He's not really keen on lifting from the net. When he rushes very fast towards the net, he makes a drop shot. If he comes slow into the net, he makes the lift. So I was really much looking at the pace of him walking towards the net, because my game was very much relying on the net game. So I was trying to figure out the opponent, how are they trying to make their game towards the net. So every time he made the speed, I was just there with the racket waiting for the drop shots, and he never figured that out. Then
do you think he's changed now? Has he learned from that?
Yeah, I think he has changed a bit, and another thing is he's been really good at making the cross drop shots. He's very strong, and he has of course developed. And looking back, I mean, the change of the game from that time when I was playing until now, wow, the speed and the way they are really trying to make the offense into the game, it's totally different. So of course they've changed, but that was when I played Taufik.
Yeah.
Peter Gade, by the hand, is a more around player. He is very good at the net, he's very deceptive, and he's very fast on the fields. But one thing, he's quite weak defensively. So at that time, when you smash him in his forehand, mainly it will be either the cross flick or a short straight drop from the forehand. So you could actually rule out 2 corners. And the idea of playing men's single is trying to rule out 1 or 2 corners where the opponent will not play you. Then you will be strong.
This is a great rally. Oh, sensational net shot to end it from Peter Gade. And what a wonderful insight into men's singles from former Olympic champion Paul Erik Høyer Larsen. Apologises for the net cord the good fortune shuttle touching the top of the tape as it went over. It makes it virtually impossible for your opponents to reply.
Okay. 9-7.
Noticed yesterday when Peter Gade was playing his match against the Hong Kong player Wei, I thought he was overplaying that backhand cross-court net shot. It's become one of his favourite shots, and he makes the error this time. There he goes, but I think at times he's overplaying it.
He does, and what I can see, his movement in the backhand, his action with the racket is too much of an action with the head, and therefore the shuttle is not really having the right angle towards the net, and therefore it will not pass the net. The idea is actually to keep up the elbow and then drop down the racket at the minute you actually hit the shuttle. That is the idea, and he was really not in the position where he was able to do that time, and he made the mistake.
3 straight points for the Indonesian. No, he's missed it. Just wide.
It's over. 10-all.
Scores level once again. On the fence that you were talking about, but this time down the backhand side, and it means that Taufik Hidayat has a 1-point advantage at the mid-game interval.
Du skal bare lige have den der retur med, hvor du går op og truer, og så holder kort. Du har lavet en enkelt 2 som variation til den, ikke?
As who are the French coach distributed Hidayat.
Han har god føling på det der. Det er det eneste, han sådan rigtig får lov at rulle.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds.
And Doyle, coach to Taufik Hidayat.
Peter.
Ja, lige præcis. Der er ikke noget spil. Så husk stikkene, ikke? Kom så.
Well, Eric, what was the advice there?
They were talking about the net game, that actually Taufik was quite strong around the net. So
11,
Peter Gade is now going to push the shuttle just a tiny bit into the court instead of making close net shots, in order to make Taufik not as strong at the net right now, because he feels that Taufik maybe is a bit stronger in that situation. So he wants to pull Taufik away from the net. That is the idea.
Yes, and I think the first player that I really noticed doing that was Morten Frost. Don't play tight net shots, push it a little distance from the net, and of course it's far more difficult for your opponent then to play a very tight net shot because they're further away from the net. Yes, that's a wonderful angle. I have to say though, I thought for a number of years now, of course we see big winning smashes in men's singles and dynamic jumps and athletic play and so on, but probably to me the most important shot in men's singles is the net play, because that sets up the rally.
That definitely set up the rally. I definitely agree with you, and the idea of being in control with the net is actually that you then are also in control with all the lifts your opponent is coming with, and you can also from the back line be in control. You can either make the aggressive clear, you can make the stick, you can also make the smashes from the back. So in order to get yourself in that position, where do you have to be strong? At the net. So that is the idea.
Yeah. Just explain, what's a stick? Is that a drop shot?
It's not a drop shot. It's not a smash, but it's like you know, instead of making a hard smash, you make what I call a stick that is quite steep in angle and not as aggressive pushed, but just a tap from the back.
You. Yep.
So that makes the angle
almost a fast drop. What we would call.
A fast drop.
Yep.
Yeah.
14-11.
4 straight points since the mid-game interval for Peter Gade. Yeah, he's trying that cross-court net shot again, and once again the error.
12-14.
And again, you can see the racket is not in the right position. His elbow is not dropping in the right moment, and therefore the action is wrong.
There's the problem on the forehand defence, and this time it was a half-pace smash from the Indonesian, which meant that the Dane had to push through the defensive shot a little more, and that's what he failed to do. Oh, it's landed on the line, but that was the little net shot or block that went just back from the net. This is the one.
13.
Perfect example of what you were talking about.
Exactly, and it paid off really well because Taufik was not really able to make a close net drop. He lifted, and Peter Gade could get into the shuttle and make a fast movement and winning that rally.
Oh my goodness. What a golden opportunity missed. No wonder. And Doyo applauds and smiles. Hidayat was in all sorts of trouble. All the Dane had to do was get the shuttle over and in. It probably would have been a winner. And Hidayat knows how lucky he was. Of course, the Indonesian has gone through some difficult times recently. A couple of months ago, resigned from the Indonesian Federation, is now an independent player. And 2 players, I understand, also did a similar thing. Vita Marissa has resigned. Famous mixed doubles player, of course. Very fine women's doubles player as well. Oh. String's gone in the racket. Sounded funny. Maybe not. Took that so early.
I think the string was broken. Let's see if I'm right. It's not you know, there's strings both vertical and horizontal, and I think it's a vertical string that was broke.
And therefore easier to control the shuttle when that happens?
Yeah, because the tension of the vertical strings is not as high, and it would only be a small fraction of the area that is contaminated, so to speak. Yep. The horizontal strings is under much more pressure, and if that goes, then you are not able to play anymore.
Some of the Yonex stringers were telling me recently that the strings now that they use for the rackets contain a material that are used in bulletproof vests. They're so strong. Oh, that's brilliant. That time the defence was solid.
Service over. 16-15.
Real crucial stages of this opening game.
It definitely is, and as far as I can see, I think Taufik is not really suffering that much from the last 2 matches he's been having. It seems as if he's moving quite smoothly around on the court, and it's really in good balance.
When he's coming forward and he's dominating from the front of the court, Hidayat really is very impressive. Knew exactly where that shuttle was going to come back.
Really fighting hard, Taufik.
17,
Some very good
16.
fast movements, retrieving, difficult shot. And then in the end, unfortunately, Peter Gade is not really feeling confident around the net.
No.
Made a few mistakes in that area.
Well, we said right at the start of the match that this is the one major title that has eluded the Indonesian, and he's playing with a passion. He's playing as if he desperately wants this one. It's well to get that back, but he's put it long. Wasn't really on balance, was he, as he tried to hit that smash? Body weight was going back in court.
It was as if he was disbelieving in that shot. Not really having the body in the right position at that time. Trying again to force himself into a good position. Made the mistakes.
4 straight points now for the Indonesian. And Dane, that was important.
17-19.
There's another error on the next shot from Peter Gade, and it means that the Indonesian now has 3 game points.
20 game points.
Goodness, those margins between success and failure are so small. That shuttle hit the top of the tape, but fell back the Danish side. You see the Dane sent in completely the wrong direction. His footwork is so good.
First game won by
But on this
Taufik
occasion,
Hidayat,
suddenly, the cross-court
21-17.
net shot from Taufik Hidayat for the outright winner. What a way to finish that excellent opening game. 21-17. Well, Ugo Handoyo, Indonesian coach, certainly Taufik Hidayat's personal coach. Crikey. 10 errors from the Danish racket. Yeah, he simply can't afford that at this level of play. That's half a game. Doesn't seem to be talking to Peter Gade. Not much advice happening there. We won't get you to translate that one. I can do that.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything at all. So maybe we're just thinking. Oh, they're talking a bit about. I could imagine they're talking about keep up the cross cuts and they try to be ready at the net.
Court 2,
because
20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds.
So both players having had the opportunity to talk to their coaches back on court. And 23 minutes for that thrilling opening game. 21-17 in favour of the number 7 seed Taufik Hidayat against the former champion, the number 4 seed Peter Gade. Now, Paul Eric, if you had been given advice in that timeout, what would you have said to Peter Gade?
Right now he's really focusing a lot of attacking game, coming in towards the net, being in a good position, be on top of Taufik. Taufik is then very strong and very deceptive, so he's not really getting paid off with all his hard work, Peter Gade. What he has actually forgotten is his attacking players putting pressure on the back line against Taufik and then come into the net. There has been two rare occasions where he did it, and he really had a very good position at that time because Taufik was pushed back on the court. There's too many times where he is forcing himself in too early, and therefore he's not really getting paid for his rushes towards the net. And also sometimes I must remember to say this, quite a few times he's in a good position at the net, making the drop shots. Instead he should wait, hesitate a bit, let Taufik make the movement and then make the flick, because sometimes that is really paying really well off against Taufik.
Oh, that is what you call a perfect net shot.
It's difficult to do anything against such a good shot. It was with such a great accuracy.
But where did the shuttle come from? It was a cross-court net shot from Gade.
Yeah, it was.
How did he get that back? Oh, I don't believe it. What net play. Well, you don't see any better than that.
It's the highest class you can ever get. I mean, being able to control the shuttle like that, it's world class. It's definitely world class. Taufik Hidayat is really showing his good old side, where he is calm and relaxed, and his way of moving towards the shuttle, make the accuracy, and that is actually what he's showing right now. It's really good.
Yeah, and that statistic really emphasises his dominance at the front of the court. 7 winners at the net as opposed to just 3 from Gade. On these neck shots is Indonesian.
3-2.
Cross court. Pushed it long.
Service over. 3-all.
probably the sort of shot that you were explaining that the Dane ought to be doing. The hold,
Over.
allow your opponent to come
4,
forward to the net
3.
and then flick it over their heads.
Exactly, Jill. Another thing I'm looking into right now is it seems as if Peter Gade maybe is not being able to keep up the pace. He takes a long time in order to get ready for the next shot. He's getting a bit slower on the court. Taufik is in a good position, moving around really well.
Don't believe it. Virtually no backswing of the racket, just clipped overhead. That's one of your stick shots, is it?
That is one of my stick shots, so to speak. No, but again, it seems as if Peter Gade is not really knowing what to do now. He's a bit confused, and then he's just trying to keep on in the rally, because there must be a time where Taufik is getting tired. But right now, it doesn't seem like that.
Ooh, it's been called out. That was desperately close.
6-3.
Yeah, that's great attacking play from the Gade. Just to remind you, of course, there's 3 courts in action here, quarter-finals evening at the Monarchs All England Championships. Calls for matches on the adjoining court. Drop shots once again, that time not working.
Service over. 7-5.
Yeah, these angled fast drops or half smashes, really trademark of Taufik Hidayat. So many winners with those. So does Peter Gade.
Service over. 6,
These are 2 players
7.
who really care so passionately about the All England Championships, the tradition of the event. And of course, Paul Eric, you won the All England twice, 2 consecutive years, 95 and 96. And I guess, of course, your biggest tournament victory has to be the Olympic Games in
7
Atlanta. But
all.
just explain to us what it means to win an All England title for you as a player.
Well, first of all, there's a lot of history behind this tournament, and the history of All England is actually that is the unofficial World Championships. It is the Open Championships where everybody has a chance to qualify, and therefore it's such a great importance to the game than we have the All England. Then the second thing is that everybody is trying to peak for this event. Everybody is at their best, and therefore that's the second thing. That's why it's so important to win this, because it is who is the best.
Absolutely. It's the toughest tournament to win. They're all the top players here. No, it's wide.
Service over, 8-all.
Gade is not forcing that much in the game. Instead of the aggressive play he made in the first set, he's being a bit more patient. And then Taufik has to do something, and that gives Gade's contra openings, and he has really benefited out of that in the last couple of minutes. So maybe that will be the tactic for the next 5 minutes.
Throwing in the flick serve. Majority of his serves going short.
Over, 9-all.
But Jill is also quite risky, because that leaves your offensive and your good position out to the opponent, and if the opponent is really good, then he benefit out of it, and that's what you see right now. Two tremendous good smashes from Taufik.
10-9.
Yeah, athletic ability to control that smash straight down the line. Wonderful. Good judgment. Shuttle landing just long of that back line, and as with the opening game, 10-all. Just 1 point will separate them at the mid-game interval.
Interval.
A little clenched fist from Gade, because in contrast to the opening game, he has the advantage at the mid-game interval here in the second game. Just 1 point though.
Også gerne flytte ham på baglinjen, men du skal trykke til dem. Så altså, det er kun når de bliver for kort, så kan han komme igennem. Ikke? Og så bare bruge hans forhåndshjørne meget til at trække ham frem med.
Doesn't seem to bombard his players with too much information. Well,
og når du har chancen, så gerne lave temposkift med de stik der. Han skal nok falde fra, han er ved at være mærket. Det er ikke fejl, der begynder at komme nu.
More from the Indonesian going down the Danes' forehand side, and that is precisely what Paul Eric was saying, that weakness on defence of Gade forehand side, and obviously the Indonesian has spotted that, and then he's played more winners down that side.
And their opponents,
11-10.
Still far too close to call. Just 1 point in it.
in charge of the match is Mark Allen, and the service judge.
Well, Eric, did you catch what the coach was saying?
Yeah, and what Lars Uwe, the one you see closest to us, he was saying a lot of pushes from the net towards the back line, and then try to keep the shot into his forehand, because there's not that much coming from his forehand side, and then in between the rallies or in the rally you have to make the speed changing, so that it's not the steady game, but all of a sudden when you are in the position, try to bring up the pace and get the aggressiveness into it.
Yeah, sudden injection of pace, and of course the past master at that is Lindan, the Olympic champion, able to suddenly up the pace of shot, pace of movement. That's nice. And just to explain, when we talk about injecting pace, it rarely is about the pace of shot, it's the pace of movement. Suddenly you reach up, get the shuttle early, give your opponent less time to get ready for the reply. That's what you mean about that.
That is the crucial thing. If if you want to change pace, it's not a matter of action in the arm, it's a matter of action in your body and the movement in your legs, and getting that pace into the game, make the speed different, and that gives you an advantage quite often. So in order to be a really good badminton player, you need to focus on the pace in the game and to bring that up. And that speed you see on quite a number of the best players in the world. They are able to do that, and that's what you need to focus on if you want to be a very good badminton player.
Service over, 14-12.
This time the net play from Gade is perfect. And that'll give him confidence, because certainly so far it's been the Indonesian who's dominated from the front. Lifted short. Yeah, he was always in trouble, but as we were talking about earlier on, the net play is so important because it forced the short lift. Hidayat able to smash from that position and immediately come forward. Knew that the reply had to be a block and it had to be straight. And that, I guess, is what you were talking about earlier, about taking out options. You know your opponent can't play a whip to the backhand corner. You only have half the court to worry about.
Exactly, Jill. That's the main idea, leaving out areas of the court. And that, bear in mind, is very important to say. In order to do that, you need to be in position. You need to be in control of the game.
Level once again. 14-all in the second game. That's a clever smash. He smashed so many down the side of the court, making Gade stretch out wide. That time, directed the smash at his right hip. And the Dane getting all tangled up in his defence. 32, that's 144 miles an hour. Yeah, again, smash straight at his opponent, having the desired effect.
16-14.
And this is where the Indonesian is so clever, because he changes tactics. He's always keeping his opponent guessing.
That is one of the advantages. Taufik is really clever, badminton-wise, knowing that he needs to change all the time in order to open up the opponent, and that is what he is doing. And therefore, it's so difficult to see and to think out Taufik.
Well, this run of 5 straight points from 12-14 down to 17-14. At exactly the right moment, he's piled on the pressure.
Service over.
Well, it's handed a glimmer of an opportunity here to the Dane. And the Dane has to be ready to take it. From Taufik Hidayat.
His backhand cross-court defense is so good. It's so surprisingly, because it's so fast, the speed of his action is really good.
I have to say, it really is lovely to see the Indonesian playing with such commitment and passion. Good. Flat, fast interchanges.
Service over, 16-18.
Now Gade needs to come up with something. It's down by 2, but he hasn't really been able to open Taufik, so I think he needs to put a bit of speed into the game now, a short serve, and then try to force him back on court.
This is a big point. Oh, and that's a sensational shot from Peter Gade. That was so important.
17.
That was really
18.
important. Coming up with the cross-court shot, the drop there, that is crucial. And it's so accurate. Very important for Peter Gade, because I really think that he's struggling with himself right now, because he's not really finding the opening towards Taufik, so he needs to be patient.
Oh, it's a good return of serve from the Indonesian. Well, both players taking the opportunity to towel down. This match in progress for 45 minutes. Really has been tremendous pace throughout. Yeah. And though you're getting a little bit anxious, I think, at the back of the court there. 2 points away from a place in the semi-final for the Indonesian. Pushed it long, and now on the verge of victory. 3 match points
20.
for Taufik Hidayat.
17.
Turn of serve. Goodness me, talk about adventurous when you're match point down. What courage. This time, Taufik Hidayat, the squeal of delight. He has played with such commitment. We really had our doubts after the first 2 rounds when he was taking the full distance, whether physically he would be up for this. He's been up for it, and my goodness, as the tournament is progressing, he's getting better and better. It is blatantly obvious he desperately wants this title. This is the only major title he has not won. He's been Olympic champion, world champion. He is the reigning Asian Games gold medalist. He's won that twice running. And coach absolutely delighted with that victory. And no wonder, what a brilliant match. We suspected it would be. Their confirmation of the score, 21-17, 21-18.
Thank you.